Hello, my friends. How have you been? How has life been with you? For me, I am as busy as usual, including teaching, preparing lessons, and painting at the same time. Lately, I'm excited to start seeing cherry blossoms blooming in my area, which has added more colors to the whole neighborhood. Although the temperature is still low, I force myself to take a walk as much as possible. My watercolor class of winter quarter at the Kirkland Arts Center just ended this week, so I finally had more time to edit my tutorial video. Today I'm going to show you how I painted this beautiful sunset with colorful clouds by the lake. It's inspired by Peter Coppnell photography. I want to make this video for not only my students who took my class, but also whoever wants to paint along with me. You can pause here, feel free to grab your art supplies and join me. For this painting, I use paints from our philosophy brand. You can just use whatever you have at home. Here, I have two shades of yellow. I have orange, which is maple. I have a darker orange, which is Maui. Blue, light blue, blue, and dark blue. And also one purple, which is named Amsterdam. For brown, I use orange, purple, and blue to mix. That's all the brown I use for this painting. First, let's apply water to the lower area of sky only. Then apply yellow to it. Leave the sun area unpainted. Then I use a quill brush size 6 with water only to soften the harsh edges. Next, I use a round brush size 6 with orange color, which is maple, to create a middle area of clouds. Based on the reference, I create different types of clouds by applying a variety of brush strokes, including cirrus, which is a wispy, feathering appearance, stratus, which is like a sheet or layers, and cumulus, which is puffy, cauliflower-shaped clouds. Now I'm going to lift off the paint to create some rays since the paints are still damp, which is the best time to lift off the paint. Getting rid of the paints each time after lifting to avoid carrying the paint to the sun area. Just repeat this step until you're satisfied with your sun rays. For the upper part of sky, I use oval brush size 1.5 with string, which is light blue, to create cirrus clouds. Same here, I use coil brush size 4 with water only to soften the harsh edges. Next, I use blue whale, which is a darker blue, for the darker sky area. Then I apply purple, which is Amsterdam, for the clouds. For this layer of clouds, I use Chinese brush to create fluffy cauliflower-shaped flowers. You can always experiment with different types of brushes to create certain types of clouds. Like I try use different brushes like oval, round, in order to find this one, this Chinese brush is perfect for this kind of clouds. Again, I use coil brush size 4 with water to soften the harsh edges. Then I reapply orange, which is maple again, to make the transition between purple and the previous orange smoother. You can repeat this step until you are happy with the layer of clouds. Finally, I added indigo to purple for the darkest area of clouds. Now the sky and clouds are done, let's paint the silhouette of mountains in the distance. I leave the area right under the sun unpainted and apply yellow to both sides. Use a quill brush size 4 with water to smooth the edges and apply some water to the areas next to it. Add some maple orange for the darker areas, including the bottom of mountains. Then lifting off paint for some rays effects. The best time to lift off paint is when the paint is still damp. Let's continue painting the mountain silhouette. I mix orange, blue, and purple to create brown for the mountains. Although it's silhouette, I still want to create the illusion of space of the mountain by adding some dark brown to it. Now I'm going to repeat the same steps for the right side of mountains. The silhouette of a mountain looks good. Let's paint the lake. I apply water to the water area first. Then apply yellow to most of the water except the sun refreshing area. Use quill brush size 4 with water again to carry some yellow to the reflection area. Next, apply maple orange to the darker areas of water. During this part, you can also create water wave by pressing your brush from light to hard, from hard to light. This way, your brush strokes can be varied and more organic. In the meantime, you can add the reflections of mountains, rocks, and the island by using maple orange color. Now I use light brown to create a reflection of trees in the water by creating vertical brush strokes. You can carry some of the light brown to the reflection of mountain, rocks, and the seashore. Finally, let's add a darker brown to emphasize the reflection, especially the edge, the area between island and the water, and the sun, mountain as well. I decided to create some ripples around the rock close to the viewers to make this painting more interesting. In the meantime, you can also define the seashore as well. The sun rays don't stop when they hit the water, so I'm going to extend the sun rays to the water by lifting off paint. Now let's paint the same area by applying yellow as the first layer. Before that, I did apply water to the same area. Then add the maple orange to define the dimension. Next, add brown to the darker areas. Finally, apply darker brown to emphasize the contrast. Now let's paint the rocks by applying yellow with a little bit of maple orange as the base. Then lick off paint to create the highlights. Use maple orange for the back of the rock. Then use brown to define the rock. Finally, use darker brown for the hole and the bottom of the rock. You will repeat the same steps to paint other rocks. For the rock, apply water first and then use yellow for the lighter area as the rocks. However, I apply purple and blue here to reflect the sky and clouds. Then use maple orange to define the log. Next, apply brown to create a texture of the log. Finally, use a darker brown to create a contrast. For the highlights, let's leave off paint, especially the areas on the sun ray path. I would like to tone down the warmth of the same area behind the log, so I decided to add a thin layer of blue on it. After that, I feel the whole same area should not be as bright as other areas, since it is far away from the sun and some area is kind of like a shadow of the log. That's why I applied a thin layer of blue to the whole sand area. Finally, I keep extending some rays to the log and the same areas by lifting off paint. For realistic painting, all details count. Last but not the least of this painting, let's paint the island and the trees. I use a light brown to create a silhouette of the island. Use dark brown to add the depth, especially the area between the island and the water. Then use dark brown to paint the trees. Remember to create the various heights of trees so they look more organic. Finally, use quill brush size 4 with water to make the transition between the island and the trees less contrast. Since it's far away, so you don't have to create a strong contrast. Oh, one more thing. After painting trees, you might want to fix the reflection of trees in the water. Now the painting is done. Don't forget to sign your name and date. I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Also, if you paint along, please share your painting with me by tagging me either on YouTube or on Instagram at @InCreativeArt. Before you go, please drop me a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you next time.